Well, a day has arrived, Oaklawn fans. Torpedo Anna will contest a field in today's Grade 1 Count, or not the Count Fleet Sprint, and the Apple
That is
Blossom
today,
Handicap,
Nancy.
but
That's a
also
good
the
thing.
Count Fleet Sprint. That Grade 3 event is today. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Oaklawn Today. I'm Nancy Holthus, joined alongside our track announcer, Matt Dinnerman. We've got 12 races to get through, so let's go ahead and get started.
Okay,
We're looking at a beautiful day. Let's take a look at our weather page as the sun is shining. We had beautiful conditions for dawn at Oaklawn. Track is fast. Winds out of the east-southeast at 5 miles per hour. 59, that's going nowhere, Matt, but up. So
yes.
thankfully, I believe it's going to be in the 70s and sunny.
We don't have any lounge chairs outside, but in the infield, you might get some people lounging.
I bet we get a lot of people lounging in the infield. Let's take a quick look at our weather page. Jockey Rafael Bejarano with a great two-bagger yesterday, with making 2 trips to the winner's circle. And how about Skelly romping in Friday's feature, coming home in 109 and change, just very impressively. Looked like a push-start Ferrari, if you will. Booth is hoping to be like his sire with a win in the Count Fleet Sprint Handicap. And Horse of the Year, Torpedo Anna, is the one to beat in today's Apple Blossom Handicap. Sunday is discount day. That's tomorrow. Free parking excluding valet, free programs, and $1 hot dogs. And hot off the press, Thursday, April 24th, has been added to our racing schedule. So make sure you mark that on your calendars. As I mentioned, we do have 12 races to get to, so let's get to work, Matt, shall we?
All right. Yeah, that's what we're getting paid for, so we might as well get right to it. And we got a lot to talk about here today,
Yes, we do. A lot to talk about, so let's get started. We're going to open with Arkansas-bred fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, maiden claiming $50,000 is the purchase price, plus tax, of course. And they are set to go 1 mile and a 16th in distance. And Matt, you and I thinking alike to start off the opener.
Well, hopefully good minds think alike here, as we both selected Kiamichi. 6-1. I don't think we're going to get that, but if we do, sign me up. This gal here comes off a 3rd place finish routing for a state bred maiden special weight condition for 50 today. 5-2 morning line, like I said, very, very early in the wagering. So I would be shocked if this runner went off at anything close to 6-1. But she's going to be my pick. I also like the second time routing angle. Whenever horses do something for a second time, we can see them improve in many instances. So Kiamichi's the play here for me, Nancy.
Yeah, same for me as well. Good effort that first time going 2 turns, and specifically at today's mile and a 16th. Sire Brahms is 15% with runners going a route of ground for the second time in their career. That is the first leg of the 50-cent pick 5. First leg of the 50-cent pick 4. Race number 2, as this is non-winners of 2, $16,000 claim for fillies and mares, and they will sprint 6 furlongs. And we have a full field of 12, as both parts of the entry will compete.
Yep, so we've got a full field to kick off our early pick 4 sequence here. And I'm going to Stenik, number 5, who was 3rd best last time out for 29-2. In an open race, this runner in this spot also in for open 16-9-2. I don't think the tag makes much of a difference here. I think it's about the same level. I just think that there's going to be some pace in here for Stenik to chase. And I like that last rally, and did not have a good trip either. Had some problems into the far turn, then had to sort of wait again at the quarter pole, go around horses, and still ran on for 3rd. I think this filly probably was best that day, so she's a trip play for me today.
Yeah, and a good 3rd, despite that trouble being steadied around the 3/8, and with a clean and trouble-free trip, could potentially find herself maybe just a little bit closer to the pace this afternoon. So Stenik, it is for me as well, the homebred for Keen Thoroughbred. Race number 3 is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, maiden claiming $45,000 is the purchase price, as they will go 6 furlongs in distance. And here's a look at the field of 9.
Yep, a maiden race here. We got a couple of first-time starters in this race, and a runner that's going to be very fit, we know, is Martingale, coming out of maiden special weight races. Has never actually run for a tag. This is the first time we've seen her in for a tag. $45,000. Cuts back in distance after losing by 3, dueling on the lead routing at the fairgrounds. Chris Hartman, we saw this last week with him when he had a big day. I think he won 3 races on the card. 2 of them were big class droppers. So not that this is an extremely significant drop in class, but it is one nonetheless. And I'm thinking they're putting this runner in for the tag to get a win and I think win she will. And 2 starts ago, keep this in mind, she sprinted last time we saw her at one turn, ran third behind a next out winner in a maiden special weight.
Yeah, that next out winner, Tap It Quick, down at the fairgrounds, also races third off the extended layoff and is looking to graduate in start number 8. So Martingale, it is for me as well in race number 3. Great minds thinking alike.
Oh, wow.
For those first several races. Let's take a look at race number 4 for this maiden allowance. It is for 3-year-olds and up, and they will go 3/4 of a mile in distance, as we do have a field of 9 set to go to the post.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't have a strong opinion in this race. If Trouble is Roaring, number 5, runs back to his last race, he beats this field, I would think. And last time out, he came out of a race where there were 2 next out winners, including Perfect Force, the winner. Came right back to win an allowance very, very impressively. Nancy, I'm going to let you do some talking here, because I've said a lot of things, and you haven't gotten a chance to show your knowledge
well, that's
here.
okay.
So, look at this.
I know. That's
I don't
uncanny.
think we've ever had the first 4 races picked the same.
No.
Ever.
I don't think so. The only cause for pause I have with the number 5 Trouble Soaring has rounded out the exacta 6 times in 9 career starts. Sometimes those horses just don't get the concept that they're supposed to be in front. So hopefully that is not the case today. And last time was second to a next out winner. That was also that race in early March, the first race since late June. So certainly could have needed a chance to get out and stretch his legs. And when racing second off the layoff, the barn is a very impressive 20%, and we'll see if the job can get done. And hopefully Trouble's Roaring is not second best in today's
Yeah, it's been the bridesmaid
yes.
quite a few races, but has run against good horses. And I mean, I think this is a field he can handle, and if he can, they're probably just going to keep trying at this level for good purses until they can get it done. But second place, look, he's ran 9 times, 116,000 he's earned.
That's
just for
a
being
nice little bank account
for
being second best.
If you're
6
owner
times.
Mike McCarty, you can't really be
You're
complaining.
not going to complain.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the good thing about especially the purses at Oaklawn. You can run second and third and make a very good bankroll and have a really good season, even if you don't make a whole lot of trips to the winner's circle.
For sure, and in a lot of jurisdictions running in these types of races with these types of purses, the purses are like stakes races in a lot of other places.
Yes.
So if you are an owner with a horse that's got some ability in running well, you want to be here.
Especially Archiebreds.
100%.
Race number 5 is for fillies and mares, non-winners of 3 or non-winners of a race since October 12th. They are in for the price of $12,500 and will go 6 furlongs as we start the first leg of this sequence of a 50-cent pick 5.
Yeah, another race. I mean, right in the middle of the card here, Nancy, this is where I just really didn't have strong opinions. I picked Hot Day. I liked her when she broke her maiden. I liked her last time out. She's won 2 in a row, aggressively spotted by Peter Miller here to get a win again. And she's the speed of the speed in here. I know Tell Me When, number 6, is a runner that likes to be close to the pace, so that could cause some issues potentially for Hot Day, who looks like sort of a need the lead type of filly, but I like that she's run very good races in her last 2 starts.
Here is where we finally differ on opinions.
I was like almost crossing my fingers, like let's hope that Nancy can counter me with something.
I will
possibly
counter
better
you,
here.
Matt Dinnerman. I'm going to go with the number 6, Tell Me When. It's Christian Torres aboard for trainer Greg Compton, races third off the break and also second off the claim. The barn, both 27% in those divisions. Exits a 6th by only 3 lengths versus tougher 12-5 starter Company, and so she's super quick out of the gate, and I think could be the one to catch as she dunks in for the tag. She was actually claimed for this price just 2 starts back when running second, beaten only a head in margin. So I'm going to go with Tell Me When in race number 5. Race number 6 is for 3-year-olds, maiden claiming 30,000, and they will go 6 furlongs. Did have a couple scratches in this one, taking out numbers 1 and 3. 1 and 3 out of race number 6. And Matt, we're back on the same page, my friend.
Yeah, and I think this horse will. I mean, if he runs his race and he improves a little bit against this field, it should be maiden diploma time for American Litigator. Got a good number. And that's really one of the reasons I like this horse. But more importantly, Kenny McPeak, very strong with second-time starters, wins at 17%. A lot of his horses very much improve second out.
Yes.
He can win with a firster, but we see this all the time with his stable. And this horse is back in for the same condition. Only lost by 3 lengths last time and didn't get a bad trip. Got a good trip under Julian Leparoux, just wasn't good enough. But I think this is a lighter field even that this horse saw last time out. Levy was dry, World Fair. They're better horses than the horses in here, even though it's the same conditions. So I'm not going out on a limb, but I don't have a strong opinion, but I think he's the one.
Yeah, the program line says no kick, but I'm not concerned with that at all. I think that was a good race. It was a good learning lesson for American Litigator. Matt said 17% for the barn with second time out, sired by Outwork, who is 16% with those making their second career start. And I like the work pattern for this runner after that debut. So second time out, we'll see if American Litigator can get the job done. So the McPeak barn looks to potentially have a good day.
Very much so.
Yes.
And usually when you've got a big horse in and you run other horses, it's funny how it works. You either have a good day or you go home disappointed.
Yeah, isn't that crazy how that works?
It's a pretty extreme spectrum, but I'm feeling it's going to be a good day.
I think it's going to be a good day as well. Race number 7 is a beaten 12-5, non-winners of 3 races or non-winners of a race since October 12th. They are going to go 1 mile and a 16th in distance, and we did have a scratch of the number 6, which leaves a field of 11 because both parts of the entry are set to go to the starting gate.
I like big fields, and Lady Mercedes, number 3, has no problems with big fields as well. Ran in a large field last time, third best at this level. I just thought this runner was too far back last time. I know that she's a closer anyway, but it just wasn't really aggressively ridden out of the gate. It was wide on the far turn. Had to swing even deeper turning for home and still came with a better-than-looked rally. So I'm going to pick Lady Mercedes in here, and here's a race where I think there's going to be some pace for her to chase, and with these closers, that's important. You want the pace. Pace can make your race, and I think Lady Mercedes is going to get it. So she very much is sort of a under-the-radar trip play for me.
I'm going to take my long shot play of the day in here and go with the number 5, Big Bad Diva, coming for the barn of Kim Poole. Ramon Vasquez with the riding assignment is hoping to improve off of that runner-up effort last out and finished just a nose in front of Lady Mercedes. I'm hoping she can be maybe just a little bit quicker out of the starting gate. She had a bit of a wide trip last out as well. So a good break and a clean ground-saving trip could get Big Bad Diva to the winner's circle for the barn of Kim Poole.
You know how much these two that we picked were separated by in the last race? By about from me to you.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, there was a photo for second, and Big Bad Diva won it. And look, I mean, if you get 15-1 for
shocked.
Big Bad Diva, yeah, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
But that's a better bet, really, than my bet, Lady Mercedes, I think.
Lady Mercedes is still, a good 6-1, so nothing to, let's not count out. But it's funny, neither of us picked Grace Given on top, who comes off a nice win, but is going to test non-3 waters for the first time today.
And
that's a big pond.
And speaking of waters, also not water on the track because it was wet last time, and she really took to it. So I'm with you. I think Grace Given is very beatable in a race like this, and you picked her third, but we're both trying to beat her, and she probably will be one of the favorites here.
She's consistent. We're going to take a quick break on this Apple Blossom edition of Oaklawn Today, and when we return, we'll talk the first of 2 graded stakes, the Grade 3 Count Fleet Sprint Handicap. We'll be back.
Experience the excitement of horse racing with Oaklawn Anywhere. If you're an Arkansas resident, you can watch and wager on horse racing from around the globe, whether you're at home or on the go, with any smartphone, laptop, or tablet, anytime, anywhere. Download the free Oaklawn Anywhere app and register for a sign-up bonus. With access to past performances, live video, race replays, and expert handicapping data, you're always in the know with no subscription fees. Bet online anytime with Oaklawn Anywhere, exclusively available to Arkansans. Right, Max? Oaklawn Anywhere. Our season never ends. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Speed, power, legacy. For over half a century, the Count Fleet Sprint has been the field for the fastest horses in racing. 6 furlongs, 1 shot at glory. From Whitmore to Matoli,
Whitmore explodes in the center of the track, and look at him fly. Matoli has turned away Whitmore. Matoli wins.
from Jackie's Warrior to Skelly,
Jackie's Warrior.
Skelly coming to the line is going to do it. He's going to win the Count Fleet.
this is a race where greatness is earned. This is the moment where records are shattered. This is the Count Fleet Sprint Handicap.
Skelly back to his winning ways in this year's Count Fleet Sprint. He went in the fastest time in his career. He bulldogged his way to the front.
Witness the 52nd running of the $500,000 Grade 3 Count Fleet Sprint Handicap on April 12th at Oaklawn, where history is made.
For decades, the Apple Blossom has been the proving ground for the greatest fillies and mares in the sport. On Saturday, April 12th, the tradition continues. The best of the best return to Oaklawn to earn their place among racing's elite. From Azeri to Zenyatta,
Azeri, the champion, trying one more time. Here she comes down the middle. The champion Azeri, and she does it. It is Mike Smith and Zenyatta in a triumphant return to Oaklawn. She wins the Apple Blossom Invitational by 3.5.
from Havre de Grace to Latruska,
Havre de Grace trying to run her way to a championship, and she's going to get it done in the Apple Blossom. Havre de Grace, with the greatest win of her career, wins the Apple Blossom. Latruska says, no, you don't. I am still the champion.
every champion cements their place in history. Witness the race, witness the legacy, witness the moment. The $1,250,000 Grade 1 Apple Blossom Handicap, April 12th at Oaklawn.
Back to talk the first of two graded stakes on the 12-race program. This is the 52nd running of the Count Fleet Sprint Handicap. It is for 4-year-olds and up, set to go 6 furlongs, and starts a 50-cent pick 5 sequence. And as you can see, no surprise to see Booth as the 3 to 5 morning line favorite. And this is actually one of 2 Steve Asmussen contenders. Steve has won the 6 runnings, including the last 3. And Tejano Twist kind of been a bridesmaid the last couple of years to Asmussen.
He has, and he's got a big-time turn of foot. And last time out, he didn't really show it, but I don't think got a good trip. I don't think he was ever really given a chance to show his best stuff. I think Booth is the type of horse that has a very vulnerable running style. He's a need-the-lead type of just go, go, go. He can deal with pressure on the lead, but if someone gets stupid out there, it could really change his race in a negative way. Here's the problem, though, Nancy. There's no other horse in this race that has the speed that Booth does.
I agree.
And that's why I'm picking him. He's the best horse on his best day, sure, based on paper. But not always the best horse wins. Sometimes the horse with the best trip wins. That said, it looks like he is going to get a dream trip loose on the lead. So I'm having a hard time finding a horse to beat him here, Nancy.
Yeah, I found a very difficult time. He's hoping to be like his dad, Matoli, a prior Count Fleet Sprint winner. And Steve said it was the Commodore that the light bulb kind of turned on for this runner, and he was just as impressed with his performance in the Grade 3 Whitmore. Triple-digit buyers in both of those, 105 and 107 respectively. And as Matt said, looks to be the one to catch. And I hate to say it, but I think Tejano Twist is going to be a bridesmaid yet again today.
I think so. I think he'll come with his usual run with Brian Hernandez riding for the first time. It's amazing how many different riders have ridden Tejano Twist as good as he is.
Yeah, that's interesting. And you look at all the couple of different tracks he's run, but man, between here and Churchill, he's still amassed almost $1.6 million in earnings with 10 wins and makes his 40th career start today.
And he loves Oaklawn Park.
Yes.
He's never finished off the board in 11 starts here. And I also get the feeling this horse, even though the tactics, we know what they're going to be, just let him sit off and make one run. I get the feeling he's maybe a little bit tricky to ride at times because you really have to have finesse on a horse like him.
Yeah.
You have to have a rider that knows how to time rides and knows exactly how much horse they have under them and know when to make the move. So, yeah, I think he's going to have a tough time catching Booth. But can he run on and get a minor slice? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so as well. Doug O'Neill was nice enough to join me this morning for Dawn at Oaklawn, as was jockey Brian Hernandez Jr., and I asked him about Anarchist, who ships in off of that 5th place finish over the Santa Anita turf in the Grade 3 San Simeon. He says, well, obviously Booth, and he acknowledges it as well, is certainly the one to catch. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see who rounds out those exotics.
It will. And Anarchist, you look at his best race, 6.5 furlongs in the Grade 2 True North. In my opinion, this is his best race back in June of 2023, and he ran second to a champion, Elite Power, won the Breeders' Cup Sprint. If Anarchist can run back to that race, then he's going to be around. But he hasn't run back to that type of race in a while.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the 52nd running of the Grade 3 Count Fleet Sprint Handicap. Race number 9 is a non-winners of 2 for $20,000, 3-year-olds and up, and they will go 1 mile and a 16th. Did have a couple scratches in the body, taking out numbers 5 and 11. But the 13 is going to get a chance to run in the 9th race this afternoon, which kicks off a 50-cent pick 4 sequence.
And it's a very good pick 4 sequence. Good quality here, races 9 through 12. This is a 20,000 non-2, though. In this spot here, I'm going to pick Touch of Glam, number 1 for the Kenny McPeak barn. Coming off a poor effort last time out, there was an incident in the race where this horse had to take up sharply and lost a lot of ground, and that was that, and eventually finished in midfield. Also ran over a sloppy surface that day. I think in this spot here, with a better trip over a fast track, he can improve. So Touch of Glam's the pick.
Well, Matt goes with the rail. I'm going to go further to the outside with the number 12, Higginsville. Bit of a question mark, as this horse does have quite a bit of turf form as of late. Exits a 5th after stalking the pace at 1 mile and a 16th over the Fairgrounds turf, but does have a solid foundation of these 2-turn races. And that was also the first time versus winner. So gets some class relief in for the 20, and not a fan of that 12 post position, but with those scratches is a little bit further down on the inside. But I really like those 2 local morning drills. March 26th went 4 furlongs and 47 and 4, and then breezed a bullet 3/8 earlier in the month of 36 and 2. So he was rocking that morning out on the track. So it's those fast breezes over a main track that definitely led me to pick the number 12, Higginsville. Race number 10 is a second level allowance optional claim price of $62,500, going the distance of 1 mile and a 16th. Scratch the 2 outside runners, the number 9, Lure Him In. Also take out the number 10, Zatara.
Yep, and it's a good quality field. I'm taking Baddest Good Boy, number 6. First time out, broke his maiden sprinting. Second time out, won a first level allowance. I believe that was on Southwest Day, and defeated Latlong, number 1, who's also in this race. Last time out, he ran in the Razorback. Just 3rd lifetime start. He got bet. He went off at 9-1 in a field of 14. And didn't do much running. It was his first start off of LASIK, so maybe something happened there. But just on top of that, I just think it was too much too soon for him. He gave up a lot of seasoning, a lot of class. So I crossed the race out. And, you know, I'm not a fan, Nancy, when riders pull horses up really quickly after the wire.
Same.
But in this case, I didn't have a problem with it because it's sort of like, okay, we're done here. Let's not beat up on him.
He wasn't at full speed at the finish, at the
and
wire.
let's just protect him. He's a good horse. Get him across the wire here. He lost by 16 lengths. He wasn't all out to lose by 16 lengths. He was being wrapped up. So you just crossed the whole race out, Nancy, and now you're left with a horse coming into this race, freshening up since that February 23rd run. I also like that when a horse doesn't run well, a horse like him that has good form, then you freshen him up. Don't wheel him back somewhere quick. Let him sort of get his feet underneath him, work a bunch, sort of reset, and now he's in a much better position to run a good race in a spot that he's now back in his conditions. I do think it's interesting they're adding blinkers because it seemed like this horse has run well without the blinkers. I don't know what that's about. But other than that, which makes me question something maybe a little bit, hey, are they trying something new? Do they want to see improvement? Other than that, I think this horse is really well spotted to run well.
Yeah, I love the fact that he won his first attempt around 2 turns and also his first time taking on winners and did it pretty impressively. Didn't go off as the favorite, but also beat Gewürztraminer, who was a very recent winner. Simply just overmatched. I think they got it maybe little too big for their britches to run in the Grade 3 Razorback, but did in that field does exit Alexander Helios, who we expect to see in the Oaklawn Handicap, and also Banishing, who is a next out winner as well. So yeah, I'm on the number 6 Baddest Good Boy, wearing the silks of Alex and Joanne LeBlanc, and gets the services of jockey Ricardo Santana Jr. Let's talk Apple Blossom.
Okay, I can feel this vibrant energy
I
as soon as you
love
got to
this
the Apple
race.
Blossom.
It's something about the fillies and mares, especially this time of year, because they start to dapple out. They start to put on a few pounds. And ladies, that's a good thing when they carry it a certain way. So this is for fillies and mares. This is the 61st running, and they will contest a mile and a 16th in distance. Do have a scratch of the number 4, Noble Miss, and it is no shock to see the reigning horse of the year, Torpedo Anna, set at 2 to 5.
Yeah, and I think, she's probably going to be 1 to 5 or maybe even 1 to 9.
Yeah.
I'm expecting some show plungers to head onto the table and put some money down.
Taking the dive.
Yeah, and I think there's a pretty good chance you win that bet. But I will say with this filly here, one thing I picked her, shock.
Same.
One thing that's really good about her is that she's very tactical. So
yes.
if you want to look at a runner that has the best possible running style, it's Torpedo Anna. She's got tactical speed, so every single race she puts herself in the race. She's never going to be 6 lengths behind unless you've got her on a stranglehold because
right.
she's just so naturally quick.
Yeah.
But she doesn't need the lead. She relaxes very nicely under Brian Hernandez Jr. I haven't talked to Brian about what it's like to ride her. I could imagine that she's actually fairly easy to ride. I would think once you just tell her what to do, she's going to be happy with it once you get her in a good stride here. We want to show a workout as well,
yes,
Nancy,
definitely.
for Torpedo Anna. And this was a bit of it was an intriguing workout, but also a bit of a peculiar one. We're going to take a look here, beginning at the quarter pole, and Torpedo Anna is on the outside of horses, and we should get up there in a second. There we go. Torpedo Anna is outside of a workmate, Honest Al, who's 20 to 1 on the morning line, and an $80,000 claimer today. I thought Honest Al worked great in this work. Now, you're watching Torpedo Anna here, and she's shaken up a little bit to get with Honest Al, and Honest Al, the rider aboard him, is just sitting there chilly, and Robbie Alvarado, who's riding Torpedo Anna, he's pushing on her a little bit to get with this horse here, and they hit the wire together. This is the end of the work. They're going to let him gallop out here. Honest Al, Torpedo Anna are even, and then Honest Al is basically going to pull away a little bit there. So, on first glance, you look at that, and I've seen better workouts from Torpedo Anna. That was a bit of a head scratcher for me. However, it was 5 days out.
Yes.
It was a sharp minute work. You don't want her to show too much in the morning 5 days out.
Right.
So I haven't watched every single one of her works. That work made me sort of scratch my head a little bit. I didn't think it was a bad work. I didn't think it was a spectacular work. I thought she just looked okay. But if that was by design, then so be it.
Would you give that a C?
I would give that a B minus.
A B minus, okay.
I would give her a B minus, workmanlike. Didn't look bad, didn't look fantastic, and I'm sure they didn't want her to show everything in the morning.
Right.
I just thought it was interesting. He was pushing on her a little bit, and she just was even with him. She didn't really go by him.
I mean, she was kind of just floating along. I mean, like you said, Robbie kind of shook the reins at her. But when she runs, she does it kind of effortlessly.
Right.
So it's interesting. Brian Hernandez Jr. This morning at Dawn at Oaklawn said he is just the pilot. Which is interesting. So Kenny McPeak has said all along, she's super professional in the mornings, and she knows that she's the good horse in the barn. I mean, you've been back to her stall. I've been back to her stall. And when you put a camera in front of her, she gives you her best side. Don't think she doesn't know that, she is what she is. But, yeah, I think it's definitely her race to lose. She's won 9 of 11 starts, and she's a perfect 2 for 2 here at Oaklawn. It was a pretty impressive effort in the Azeri coming off of that Breeders' Cup distaff win. So, a lot of times I'm not sure if Kenny is really wanted to just give that maintenance work, but that work on April 7th at 5 furlongs, it did earn a bullet. So, it's a little bit, like you said, it's a little bit of a head scratcher, especially who she worked with.
Well, and here's you actually touched on it better than I did in my spiel, and you said it in one phrase, which is Brian Hernandez Jr. is just a passenger, and she does things so effortless. that seemed like there was a little bit of effort involved.
Yes.
So that's sort of the comparing and contrasting her running style.
Yeah.
If I didn't see that work, I would say to myself, can't lose this race.
So let's talk about some others in the field here. Let's talk about Where's My Ring, who we saw school in the infield winner circle just a few days ago. Comes off of a 12 1/4 length win and 103 buyer against first level allowance option, claiming 35,000 here at Oaklawn in the Oaklawn debut. Graded stakes winner. She actually has raced against Torpedo Anna a pair of times and just was nowhere near her in either of those. But sometimes things can change, and sometimes these mares get better when they get older. Maybe the light bulb has come on.
I think it has. I mean, she won the Gazelle at Grade 3 in April 2024. So it's not like we've never known about this filly,
right,
that she all of a sudden, it's like, where'd this come from? In a sense, that did happen, but she has always had class and ability.
Yes.
She really put it together on a track that favored speed last time. I will say that. The pace was not super fast, but she kicked away like a filly that's ready to go into the graded stakes ranks again. And I actually really like this move. I look at it as, hey, the supporting cast of characters is not the strongest apple blossom we've seen.
Right.
So with that in mind, now it's time, with a filly that clearly has ability, has shown in the ring that she is a strong fighter. It's time to face the champion now and see exactly where you stack up.
Another contender in the field is the number 3, Free Like a Girl, one of two from the barn of Chassis Pommier. Makes the 50th career start, and a win today would give Free Like a Girl her 20th stakes victory, but her first graded stakes victory. Not to say that she hasn't been knocking at the door. She's multiple graded stakes placed and was actually second in the Azeri to Torpedo Anna. And again, that was over a wet, fast track, but she's got some clout too and looks to be sitting not too far off of her heels.
No, and I think you make a good point, which is if anybody tries to beat Torpedo Anna, I'll give you an example. When Zenyatta was racing, I worked for John Sadler. There was a filly named Switch, who I believe it was called the Vanity Handicap, ran against Zenyatta. And the plan was very simple. Obviously, it's easier to get ahead of a closer.
Yeah.
So the plan was this. Listen, you're not going to beat this filly on the gallop out. You're not going to beat Zenyatta on the gallop out. Just try to beat her to the wire. When you hit the top of the lane, wait. Switch has got a nice kick. Zenyatta's going to make her move at the quarter pole. As soon as you straighten into the stretch, start driving, start hollering, and get her there as quick as you can, and hopefully you can beat her to the wire. And I think a runner like Free Like a Girl or Where's My Ring, in order to possibly us see an upset today, that's what they're going to have to do. Problem is, Torpedo Anna is not a closer. She's very tactical.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that this is going to be a very tactical race, at least in the early stages.
Well, it's going to be a great running of the Grade 1 Apple Blossom as we close out the 12-race card with a second-level allowance optional claiming of $62,500. Nobody in for the optional claim price. It is for fillies and mares contesting 3/4 of a mile. Did have 3 scratches out of the field, and Matt, let's just call it the same pick again.
Gloriette, really?
Gloriette.
I think we've had, what, 6 or 7?
I think so, and this horse is actually stabled next to Al's Romeo. This is the Shakespeare duo from Shea Stewart's barn. So yeah, Tyler Bacon looking to close out a very good day.
That sounds like an HBO comedy.
Oh, it does. It does. I like it.
Romeo and Gloriette. Yeah, and Gloriette did not have a lovely trip last time out.
No, she did not.
She set off the pace and was way too far behind. I don't know what happened. She was 2-5 at this level to win, and she ran second, but still came on with a run. So at least she showed she's versatile. She's not going to spit the bit behind horses, but at the same time, she needs to be more aggressively ridden. And Tyler Bacon's back aboard, and I think that this time around, he's going to really try hard to get her out of the gate. He rode her really well 2 starts ago when she won an allowance race. She's very speedy, but she does not lead clearly. But when you don't show her speed with her, you're taking away her best weapon. So.
And yeah, everything that Matt said, but I just want to say kudos to Shea Stewart for claiming this 4-year-old filly for non-3 for 35 when she wired the field by 7, came back right off the claim to win a first-level allowance, getting their money back right then. So,
Right away.
yeah,
And
great
some.
claim.
And
yeah,
some.
and some. And off that second against second level allowance where the purse is $131,000.
I think they've made somewhere in the $80,000 to $90,000 range, just off the top of my head, looking at the calculations.
Not too shabby.
No, and that's
Not a
why
bad
it's good
work
to
day.
claim a good horse at Oaklawn Park.
Exactly.
Especially if you can bump them up.
Those are our selections for 12 races on this afternoon's program. But first, let's take a look at our $20 show bet bonus parlay ticket in addition to our long shot play of the day. For Matt, it's Lady Mercedes in the 7th. We're going head to head as I go with Big Bad Diva. Top pick sponsored by Oaklawn Anywhere. Matt goes with the opener, Kiamichi, and I'm going with the Queen, the Grizzly, Torpedo Anna in the Apple Blossom. So I think that is certainly my top pick.
Well, you know what? I think there are a lot of people that would agree with you.
I think Booth is going to be a single on a lot of people's tickets, and I think Torpedo Anna is going to be a single on a lot of people's tickets, and I think we're going to have a bridge jumper.
Oh, 100%.
And that's a racing term. We're not talking literally somebody going to Lake Hamilton and doing this.
There are no bridges around here, so let's hope anyway. But it's going to be a great day, and yeah, I mean, I think that you might see pretty formful events in the stakes races, but I think there are some supporting races that maybe you can find mild prices. I don't see any bombs hitting today, though.
I don't
just
either.
Don't get that vibe that it's happening, but that's why we run them.
That's why we run them. All right. Thanks for joining us on this Apple Blossom edition of Oaklawn Today. For Matt Dinnerman, I am Nancy Holthus. Good luck and good racing.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching and wagering on Oaklawn Park. Happy Apple Blossom Day 2025. Without further ado, we now ask you to please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
right, ladies and gentlemen, you can now get out your pens, pencils, and programs because we now have today's changes. Here they come. Our track condition, fast today. Sunny skies, currently 63 degrees. Southeast winds coming in at 5 miles an hour. Again, our track condition is fast. Here come the day's changes. In the first race on the card, we kick off the early pick 5 sequence. There's no changes in race number 1. The second race starts the early pick 4. No changes in race number 2. In the third race on the program, once again, we are clear. No changes in race 3. And in the fourth race on the program, we have 2 updated workouts for you not listed in your past performance products. Number 7, Semper Invictus, worked out here at Oaklawn Park on March 31st over a fast track going 4 furlongs in 47.20 seconds, was given a breezing designation there for that workout. And Donnet Normandy also worked out here at Oaklawn Park on April 8th over a fast track going 4 furlongs in 49.40 seconds and was given a breezing designation for that drill. The fifth race begins a middle pick 5. Races 5 through 9, there is a middle pick 5 wager there. In race number 5, scratch number 3, Don't You Know It. Number 3, Don't You Know It, scratched out of race number 5. The sixth race on the card begins a middle pick 4, races 6 through 9. In race number 6, scratch number 1, E-Money. Also scratch number 3, Work Boots. Numbers 1 and 3, both scratched out of race number 6. In the seventh race on the program, scratch number 6, it's 50 Shade Time. Number 6, it's 50 Shade Time, scratched out of race number 7 today. The eighth race begins the pick 5, the late pick 5, races 8 through 12. This is the $500,000 grade 3 Count Fleet Sprint Handicap, the 52nd running for 4-year-olds and upward, going 6 furlongs. In race 8, the Count Fleet, number 1, Devil's Tower, is 2 pounds overweight. 2, Happy American, 3 pounds over. 5, Pain, 2 pounds overweight. 7, Rivet, also 2 pounds over. The ninth race begins a pick 4, races 9 through 12, that sequence. That's the late pick 4 in race number 9, scratch number 5, Mount Craig, and scratch number 11, Gluckstadt. Numbers 5 and 11, both scratched out of race number 9. Number 13, 10 days later, draws into the race and will compete. In the 10th race on our program, scratch number 9, Lure Him In, and scratch number 10, Zatara. Numbers 9 and 10, both scratched out of race number 10. Also in the 10th race, number 5, Underhill's Tab, is 4 pounds overweight. And number 7, Unload, 2 pounds over. Race number 11, our feature today, the Grade 1, $1,250,000 Apple Blossom Handicap, the 61st running for fillies and mares 4 years old and upward, going a mile and a 16th. In race 11, scratch number 4, Noble Miss. Number 4, Noble Miss, scratched out of race 11. Also in the 11th race, number 1, Sweet Alyssa, is 3 pounds overweight. 2, Neon Beach, 4 pounds overweight. The last race, race number 12 today. In the finale, scratch number 3, Marisol Sugar, scratch number 7, Pharaoh's Heart, and scratch number 11, 1, Happy Mama. Numbers 3, 7, and 11, all scratched out of race 12. Also in the 12th race, number 6, Cantex, is 4 pounds overweight. Those are all the changes, ladies and gentlemen. 19 minutes until the opener. Enjoy your afternoon watching and wagering on Oaklawn Park on Apple Blossom Day 2025.
name's Tyler Bacon, and I'm from Crow Agency, Montana, and I'm 17 years old. I grew up on the Crow Indian Reservation. It's not a very big town. It's a little town with about 2 gas stations, so I'm not really much of a big city guy. When I was younger, my uncle Cody, he owned Indian relay horses, so I was around horses my entire life. Probably like 6, started riding ponies around with my friends, like around town on the reservation. They had little fairs, and on the weekends they run horses and Indian relays. The reservation I'm from, it has a little racetrack. I think it's about 6 furlongs maybe, but that's where I rode my first gate race actually. A couple days after I turned 16, that's right when I got my license, so it wasn't very long. As soon as I got to the track, they entered me up on some horses, and I galloped a few, worked a few out of the gate, and that was about it. When I first started riding in Fauner Park, my first win, that horse pretty much drug me around the track.
Southwestern Hope is trying to get home in the Fauner 6 and will get the job done.
I didn't whip him or nothing. I just guided him around there, and he took me to the winner's circle.
Congratulations to jockey T.W. Bacon on his first career win.
After Fauner, I went to Iowa and Prairie Meadows, started riding there, and my agent Brian, he got a hold of me and he told me about Oaklawn, so that's when I came here and decided to ride here. I've had a lot of people that helped me out, like D. Wayne Lucas, Christian Torres. They've all been helping me out a lot. Every jockey wants to win the Kentucky Derby, so I think that'll be very cool. That's probably one of the races that I want to win.
At the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, we believe in giving every thoroughbred a second chance.
And thanks to you, the owners, trainers, breeders, and every supporter,
You've created a ripple effect of change that's helping these magnificent animals move on to new careers and safe, fulfilling lives after racing.
Every single donation, whether big or small, is contributing to a brighter future.
But this race is just beginning. Because of you, we have gained incredible momentum and we're ready for more.